Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Michelle is here on this holiday, December the 25th, 2024. And it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. So I'm not sure what everyone's schedule is like for these holiday seasons. I told you for me, I think decades ago, I started realizing that I need to create my own traditions and my own customs when it involves holiday seasons. I mean, yeah, and to where I attempted to make every day a holiday. I attempted to do things that I enjoy every day. I just had to change the narrative in my own way that's comfortable for me. I remember back in the day, during the holiday seasons, when I was a young girl, I used to be really upset actually because I never was receiving all these gifts that I expected that I was supposed to receive, because I was paying attention to what everybody else was doing and not realizing how impractical that was, especially since my dad was the only breadwinner in the house, so, and with all of us in the house, and at the time there were a lot of relatives always coming around, and so forth and so on. And I talked about that. So what I had to do is just create my own traditions and customs. And back in the day, I used to go to the movies. Ooh, wow. That was fantastic back in the day. It's changed, to where I don't, I've changed and I don't do that anymore. I used to go to the movies because that's when they used to release, you know, feature film movies and just sit there, in those big, with the big screen. But now it's different. People, all of that has changed. It's become unsafe, actually, for me, at least I can say for me. And then when I got into the first responder career, holidays meant nothing. You had to compete with other people to even get the days off, and the setup as to who gets the day off was so unfair that you just couldn't. There was no way to compete. You know what I mean? And of course, people in the hierarchical structure, I mean, they can get off anytime they want. They didn't necessarily have to show up to work and blah blah. So it was just unfair. You know, and so also at that time, when I was the first responder, it was nice for me. I like being outside, out and about. Kind of, wandering around. So it was nice that during that time as well for me because it wasn't that much of business traffic. The people in so-called business professions, they were home somewhere, and so I was able to inspect the environment, inspect neighborhoods, and that's why I got so intrigued by about these so-called distressed communities and how I used to go in there and just kind of have some connection to it and see if I can pick up what's really going on in those type of environments. And what I later determined were they were intentionally infringed on, intentionally invaded, intentionally uh, harassed. It was just an intentional intention on those type of communities. So, as I said, you do have to experience life in order to know what people are going through and why people are going through certain things during that time. Because during that time of the year, for a lot of people, it brought on a lot of stress. And I'm telling you, and a lot of people don't want to hear it, but usually it was family related. Family related stress. So that's why during these holiday seasons, there's so much domestic turmoil going on because you have these parasite and leeches of relatives. Let's be honest. Come on, let's stop this. We have these parasite and leeches of relatives that come around only during that time, and they'll admit they come around because they know that somebody's cooking. They know they're going to get a free meal. They know they can. I mean, sometimes it was enjoyable. For me, growing up, we had enough people in our house already, and then when relatives would show up, I didn't like it. I'm just going to be very honest, and I've said that many a times, and so that's why I said I had to start recreating my own traditions and customs so that I can, you know, regain some sanity, because I told you I was the last one that left my parents' house, and because I felt like something was going on. There was something unsettling going on in that house, and I figured it out. And I noticed, and I also knew that there were certain outside influences that cause a lot of turmoil in some people's houses and some people's lives. And sometimes it's the people that are close to you, some people that you call your family, not to, and a lot of people say, well, you need to repair your blah, blah, blah. Something about the family is everything. No, that's not true at all. Your family needs to respect you as well as you expect strangers to respect you. Okay. Thankfully, my family respects me. Now, whether they like me or not, sometimes that's irrelevant. I know my family loves me because we grew up in a house of love. In that house of love, there was turmoil sometimes. There was chaos. There was arguing. I was fighting my brothers. My brothers was beating my ass and blah, 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 blah. It was a constant, it was crazy. And so for anyone to say that, and sometimes you have to stand up to your family members, especially these in-laws, okay, or the families of each parent, their families, their extended families. Sometimes you have to stand up to those family members and set them straight, respect, because I knew that there was disrespect to my mother, also disrespect to my father, if you think about it, with, certain relatives, and, hey, get offended, you'll get over it. Always wanting to borrow money, and I'm telling you, that is what drains people. When you are attempting to build yourself up, or you have, and this is why celebrities, I know why celebrities go insane with all of this, because everybody wants to borrow money. They want to borrow your car, they want to sleep on your couch, they want to show up unexpectedly. We family, that bullshit, that's disrespectful. And even some friends do that. For friends to just come into town and expect you to give them a place to sleep. Let me sleep on your couch. And some people sleep on people's couches and they've been there for decades. Don't move. Don't leave. Don't move. I know that for a fact. That happens. So during these holiday seasons, when you are allowed to be reflective, be brutally honest with yourself and realize who's draining most of your energy. It's the people that are close to you, who believe they know you, who call themselves your family members. They're the ones that say, hey, let me borrow $20. I'll pay you back next week. And that was 5 years ago. Okay, hey, let me borrow your vehicle. And, I'm just going around the corner and you realize they've been in an accident or a crash and they haven't, and then you don't hear from them until the police calls and says, okay, your vehicle was abandoned on blah, 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 street next to blah, blah. And then you wonder, okay, well, I loaned it to my cousin. And then when your insurance company figures that out, guess what happens? Because chances are your cousin, your uncle, your whoever were not on your insurance policy, okay? Or again, they come into your house, they get on your couch, they say, well, let me just stay here for a couple of days. And they're there for almost for years. And then you attempt to evict them. And then other family members get upset. Other family members come to your house. That is where all this bullshit occurs. Okay, so yes, be honest with yourself if you have time to be contemplating, cultivating. Yes, and if you have a great relationship with your family members, fantastic. Usually it's those that have not many siblings. Maybe it's two of you, just the two of us. If it's two of you, yes, that's easier to manage, or maybe even three. But when you start going up, it becomes difficult because you're dealing with each other's personalities. All of us are individual personalities with our own characteristics, our own this or that, and our own moodiness, our own whatever. Okay. I think I started out as an introvert when I was a young girl. But then when I started asking questions, it's like that became a problem because there was so much contradiction as well. I would be told, okay, do not do certain things. Okay. But then the family member that told me not to do certain things were doing the certain things. Okay, cool. I mean, and then that makes sense, I guess, when you're a young person, but when you become an adult and the same things continue to happen, okay, that's an issue. I think that's a contradiction, because like I said, contradictions are a natural part of developing. You need them. That's how you can determine a correlation between certain components of what people are either saying, doing, whatever the case may be. So I want all, and also keep in mind, during these holiday seasons, you know, your ex-husband, your ex-wife, that those they are considered a family, and guess where? That's where all the turmoil comes as well. With that's what I'm saying. All that mixtures of your ex-husband, and you still got to deal with your ex-husband's extended family or your ex-wife's extended family. It can be a chaos and a mess. So, and that's why, and I know for a fact that's where all the troubles in most people's lives come from. The people that are close to you, the people that are supposed to be your friends, the people that say that they care about you. They're the ones that are draining your energy, and you can't say no to them. Yes, you can. You can say no, but some people believe that if your sister says she want to borrow your car, let your sister borrow your car. If your uncle said he want $20, give your uncle $20. I say no. I started saying no, and that's when I realized that I became a problem, I guess. I started saying no to people a long time ago. I worked my ass off, to buy a vehicle for per se, or to buy this or buy that, especially vehicles. A lot of people just felt like all because I was sitting in their vehicle and they were taking me here, they were taking me there. I was a young girl at that time. I wasn't driving then. But then they feel like as though as soon as I become an adult and have my own vehicle that I'm paying monthly and insurance on them, that they can just come up to me and say, hey, can I borrow your vehicle? I started to say no right away. No. Nope. Can I borrow $20? No. Can you take me to the grocery? No. I had confidence to say no. Nope. So I want some of you that I know, that I care about, to practice saying no to people, whether they're your family members or not. And like I said, usually it's the people that are close to you, that are smothering you, that are invading you and blocking you. Okay, blocking your ability to see outside of things. And family is not everything. Okay, sometimes family can cause the most damage to your consciousness. Okay, we all have known about mothers, how mothers have treated their siblings, how fathers have treated their siblings, especially with the fathers. These baby daddy issues, as people call them. Wow, that has destroyed a large portion of all cultures. And it go across all walks of life. This so-called baby daddy drama, and the children are in the middle of that, and the children are witnessing that and feeling it. Think about when you were young, what certain type of words and environment and energy, cause you anxiety. A lot of anxiety has a lot to do with that. I think for a lot of people, you just never know what was about to happen. It's that uncertainty that you could not settle inside yourself. And each one of us have our own form of anxiety. All of our anxiety is not the same. That's why we have to stay away from people who attempt to medicate you, because you have anxiety. I mean, your anxiety is not the same as other people's anxiety, and chances are, it's about how you manage your thoughts. So there's a lot of things that we have to learn about how to take care of ourselves and take care of each other. So while you have time during this holiday season, take the moment to be grounded in your reality. Go in a bathroom where you can lock the door and turn off the light. Sit there, on your toilet possibly, or you can bring a chair in there. Be face south as all possible, and just sit there, contemplate, breathe for about 5, 10, 15, maybe 20, as much. If you can take 20 minutes to yourself and breathe, ground yourself, and vow to yourself that you're going to take care of some of these things that have been lingering in your life for 10, 20, 30 years. You're going to take care of these things that have been lingering, in your environment. You're going to have to reshape the people that are surrounding you. You're going to have to reshape the circle of people that are close to you. You're going to have to open up possibilities to allow someone else to come in, and to be in your life, to help and assist you, that adore you. There are some people out there that adore all of us. I'm going to say no because I know who I want to be bothered with, and I know what I want and what I need. But I'm saying for those of you that have issues, we talk about boundaries all the time. Well, that starts with grounding yourself in reality. Be very honest about who's around you, and notice that sometimes some of them are the ones that are draining you. Admit it. And usually they could be family members. They can be people you call your best friends. They can be any uh, elements of people that are draining your energy, and it's time to stop it. Stop the bleeding. Okay, vow to stop the bleeding. So I'm going to go ahead and start right now. Get ready to finish up with some things that I started today. I'm going to enjoy this day like any other day. Be happy and joyful, because you know what? It's all inside of me anyway. It doesn't matter what day it is. Okay? Peace and love. And trust me, I'll be back.